Hello, everyone. Welcome to the broadcast. I'm your host, Angela, and I'm just basically coming on here wanting to talk about real friends. Friends that you don't have to talk to every day. You don't have to be out with them all the time. You don't have to constantly be in touch with that person all day, every day. But when you two come together, it's like you just catch right up. You don't have to go into anything that, you weren't there for, or anything that you weren't around, and are calling or texting, or you don't have to come up with any excuses or anything like that. You guys have an understanding, and you're friends. You know what I'm saying? And to the end, you just know that this person is ideally a lot like you. Think a lot like you in those ways, as far as like connection. Like, you're connected regardless if you guys are still like Facebook friends or whatnot. However, you still know what's you're still in the know. So if you need to contact them, you know there's always an alert to say, oh, I better check on this person because this and that happened. And so you constantly, check in every so often to say, hey, I love you. I want to make sure you're good. But because we all have our own separate lives, we know that, you know, you can't talk to each other all the time. Every now and again, it's always good to check in, but you don't, conversate like every day, all day. But yet, still, you still friends, and you know that you're friends. And so that's what I want to talk about today. And, you have some people that just believe that, they got to talk to each other like all day, every day. Like, and that's cool. Maybe in high school, maybe before you have children, maybe before you have a family. But once, later on you get family and you have a husband, some people, not all, but some people end up kind of falling off, and they tend to their children and their husbands and everything else that they got going on. They got work, or they got school, or whatever it is that they have. Some people lives are a little bit more hectic than others, but then others, they have to have that reassurance. They have to have somebody that's their friend, that's like right there all the time, that they see every day. And it's just, I believe everybody's on different pages. Some people is some people are like, I'm good to have friends. If I have friends, that's always good with me. But it's not a must. It's not a must. Or maybe they might feel like, if you are really my friend, you'll understand. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you just gotta understand. You gotta understand that, sometimes they just don't have the time right now. Maybe their job requires them to spend more time at work, or, maybe there's they're doing finals for school. Whatever the case may be, it doesn't mean that they love you any less. It just means that, right now they're in this space where they really need to concentrate on whatever it is that they got going on. So, my advice to some that, maybe you got a friend that doesn't contact you that much, maybe they don't come around like that. Maybe you need to check on that person. Maybe you need to see, how things are going in their lives. Maybe you need to be a little bit more understanding, and know that, you know, everybody's lives take a turn at times. And they can't always be there like maybe they want to be. But I guarantee, they're your true friend, that they're going to, be there when you need them the most, when when they, when you call them, 9 times out of 10, they're going to pick up the phone because it's you, unless there's something going on that's severe in their lives at that moment. Maybe they won't, but 9 times out of 10, they're going to pick up just because it's you. So, and sometimes you can't focus so much more on personal things like your natural friends, but maybe you need to get a little bit more connected to your God. Maybe you need to get a little bit more connected. That way you don't feel like you're lost or alone, because see, in his word he says that he'll never leave you nor forsake you. And so to know that he's always there. So when you really, really need a friend, you really, really need somebody to talk to, maybe sometimes you can't go to your parents. Sometimes maybe you can't go to your siblings. And sometimes maybe you don't have any friends. Maybe there's nobody around that you can really talk to in regards to your situation. But I know someone who will never leave you. I don't care where you are. I found myself one time alone and by myself, and I was too embarrassed to contact certain people because of my situation, what I was going through at the time. But I knew to contact the Father. I knew to talk to him about what was going on. And not only that, I didn't even really have to pray long. I didn't have to say much. But I'll tell you one thing. He stepped in right on time, which allowed me to know that his word is true. He will never leave you. He will never forsake you. I found myself alone on this, road and found myself not knowing, how am I going to get home? I have children. I have this going on. I have that going on. But, God, he stepped right on in. This man, he picked me up. And I didn't know that man. That man didn't know me. But it just so happens he was a Lyft driver. And he said I wasn't going to stop because, his day was over. He was done, driving people around. And so he said I wasn't going to stop. He said, but I heard God's voice. And God's voice told me to stop. See, this is how I know. This is one reason I know that he's real. This is how I know personally that God is real. Because in my time of need, I didn't know this person from A to Adam. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know this person at all. But we both knew someone. We both knew God. We both knew who God was. And because of the relationship, God stepped right on in and right on time. It didn't take long. I wasn't stranded long. But it just seems like as soon as maybe a minute went by, if that, I just knew he was going to step in. I knew, I have that confidence just knowing that he's always watching and he knows exactly what I'm going through. I don't have to talk to him about what I'm going through because he sees it. He sees and he knows, just like the word says. So trusting and knowing, that you have a friend, that sits up high and looks down low and sees everything that you're going through. You don't have to talk to him about it. Sometimes you just might just want to cry. Sometimes you might just want to, gripe about what's been going on in your life. But you know what? Those ears are open and attentive to you. He hears you. All you got to do is talk to him. Sometimes people just think that they can't talk to him about any ordinary thing, but he's there to listen to everything. He want to hear it all, whether you're angry, whether you're sad, whether you're happy, so much love, so many loves, people that you love are gone. So many people, are going through loss right now. So many people are going through certain tragedies right now. Maybe a disaster that happened, and everything that you had, and everything maybe that you've built have been ripped away from you. And so you need someone to talk to that'll understand. And sometimes we go through this thing. It's called a breakdown and building up. Sometimes things have to be broken down in our lives, and we have to start all over again. But it's okay to start over. Sometimes it's okay to start over, and maybe this time you start over with a little bit more help, and maybe this time it won't be so hard. Maybe this time you'll actually know and recognize and reverence who gave you everything that you have. Sometimes it's all about knowing and putting the right one on the throne of your life. Sometimes it's a attention getter. Hey, I'm here. Do you recognize me? He said, I'll never leave you nor forsake you. So he knows what you're going through. And you know what? You ask and he'll comfort you. He'll send a comforter. And that is the Holy Spirit. And the Holy Spirit is able to comfort you right where you are. So all you got to do is know that you got a friend that stick closer to you than a brother. You got somebody that loves you and cares about you and cares about what you're going through. All you got to do is talk to him. That's it. Have a relationship. Allow him to speak to you. Listen. And know that he is God. And he'll never leave you. And he'll never forsake you. Regardless as to what you're going through. You may feel alone, but know that you're never alone. Never. And that's all I have for today. I pray that you'll be here for the next one. And meanwhile, know that you have a friend who loves you and cares about you. Just hold on and know that you're never alone.